Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha Mashiach. My name is Malak Sholomo. Today is the 1st of July 2024. It's 10:08 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to do a little top-down analysis of the ES futures. So let's see here. Let's just start off with TraderMap Pro. So these are liquidity levels siphoning out from 80 and above, right? So biggest liquidity we have is at 55.45 area. And where is my Epic pen? Let me pull that out. All right, so we got that heavy liquidity there at 55.45. The next supporting liquidity is really at 5,500, right? So that's what TraderMap Pro is saying initially. And let me just throw something on here, outside liquidity, and show bid and ask liquidity. All right, so outside of this, we have 650 on the bid and 600 up top, right? So when we close it in, there's nothing more, right? So just looking at these levels here on the bid is slightly heavier, and we have liquidity here 5,500, then 54.75, 54.62, 54.50, and let's see here. Open that up a little bit. Oh, you're not gonna move? All right. So this is around 54.27.25, right? So that's the liquidity on the bid, and this is the only thing we're seeing on the ask right now. So other than 55.87, right? So that's basically the liquidity areas right there. That's it's long-term players that stay in the book. They're not orders that pull quickly and stuff like that. So these have been in the book since let's see, 2151. But it just shows that there, but I think they've been in the book longer than this. But anyway, moving on. Let's see here. Let's go to all right, let's go to the daily chart here on the ES, and let's point out this. Let me try and run through this real quick. I've been working a lot, man, and I'm kind of tired, so I gotta get some rest. I didn't really get to trade from home today. I had to work today, so I traded from work a little bit. It was successful though. Kind of went off tilt a little bit, but it ended up in my favor. So all right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Right, so we have value area high at, hold on, don't want that. My bad, y'all. I'm all over the place. I'm a little tired, to be honest. So value area high on the monthly is in a higher value relationship, and it's 55.88.25. That's the value area high, and the POC level on the monthly is 55.35. And the value area low is 54.32. My bad, right? And that's in a higher value relationship. So over the last month, we created a higher value. So now we either have to break out of this or start ranging in between value, right? So that's the thesis on that. It's in a higher value. We're supposed to be seeking higher value or higher prices. So let's see, throw on the cameras. Let's open this up. The chart is gonna start getting kind of messy, so brace yourself. You know what I mean? So this is Camarilla S3, this green line right here, and that's at 54.45.50, right? And Camarilla R3 is at, let's see here, pull this down a little bit. and it's at 55.9750, right? So it's right now it's in a overlapping higher value relationship, because let me open this up a little bit so you can see that previous Camarilla R3, and this is previous Camarilla S3, which is at 54.45 now, but it didn't push above previous month's Camarilla R3, so that's still in an overlapping higher value relationship, which is moderately bullish. So we're supposed to seek higher value, but Camarilla R3 now becomes like a heavy resistance in this setup. So price has to push through Camarilla R3, which is at 55.9750, with some strong buying to show that continuation of the uptrend, and it's susceptible to getting rejected here. And as you can see, we already rejected on the 20th of June, right? So we rejected this area, so this is a resistance zone, and as you can see, it's creating like a double pivot zone right here with a monthly value area high, right? So take note of that. All right. Let's see, I'm going to take off these Camarillas for a second here, not to get the chart too messy. And I'm going to throw on the floor pivots, right? So floor pivot, central pivot range is this range right here. We have the top central at 54.9775 down to the bottom central of 54.50, right? So that's that kind of teal kind of line right there. You can see where I'm at here, 54.50. So that line right there, that's the monthly bottom central. This one here is the monthly floor pivot at 54.7375, and that's the monthly top central at 54.9775, right? So that's the central pivot range right there. Usually price, like if we open above the CPR, right? So that's bullish in context. Usually we do get a retest if price isn't strong enough to open and push right away, right? So we could get a retest of this 54.9775. So that's the first support we're looking at if price decides to come down to look for some buyers, right? So that's the first support in the central pivot range. And just to point out here, we're losing we tested the monthly POC at 55.35, and we're losing that in the ETH right now, right? I'm also in a live trade right now, but we'll get to that. Right, so let's see here. I want to look at my VWAPs, and this is the monthly VWAPs, anchored VWAPs, right? So these anchored VWAPs are showing now rejection of the first upper deviation. Well, first the rejection came here from the second upper deviation, right? Now it's coupled with value area high, monthly value area high. We're getting the breakdown of first upper deviation, and price is looking like it's accepting below that level. So the next support level is going to be VWAP, which is correlating with a monthly floor pivot 54.7325. So around that area, 54.70 is another support area if buyers decide to bring it back down to value, you know what I'm saying, which VWAP is kind of like, it is the volume weighted average price, right? So basically some kind of mean, you know what I'm saying. Let's see here. I'm gonna take off these monthly anchored VWAPs, and I'm gonna go to these over here, and these are my quarterly. So where are they starting from? No, this is the yearly, right? So this is starting from the 2nd of January, like if we start the year in June. Anyway, I'm tired, y'all. Forgive me. So this is the yearly anchored. So what are we seeing here from the beginning of the year till now? We're losing the second upper deviation, right? So it's kind of correlating with the monthly. So we're losing the second upper deviation, and possibly we could get down here to the first upper deviation, which is at 5404. I mean, that'll be a nice little retest of this level here. I know bulls don't really want to accept stuff like this, but this is really how the market works. You know what I'm saying? Big buyers are going to take their profits here before they look to break out of this level. You know what I mean? And they will come back here to pick up more orders, flush out buyers, take their contracts, and accumulate on a retest, right? It's just because it's the daily chart, you kind of look at it like if the world is ending, you know what I'm saying? But on a 5-minute chart, if this was a 5-minute chart, there's no big deal on a retest around this 5412 area, right? So possible retest of that if we break down the monthly VWAP that I was showing you before. And yeah, that's about it on the daily chart. Let me just throw on all of the levels and see what correlation we get, right? And I forgot to show you something here. This is a single print in the market profile, the monthly market profile. So we have a single print here, which could be retested for just to clear up those orders that were missed here. And those orders were missed because we had this big bullish candle right here, just zip through here, and we did come back and test it, but we only created a single print, right? So let's see here. Let me put this back on. Right, so you can see where all these central and mean levels are correlating around this right here, right? So we have the central pivot, the VWAP, the single print, right? And we also have like the bottom central, but in this area right here, this is where the mean is of the market right now, right? So coming back to 54.73 is very possible. So let's take this off. I think we're done with the daily chart so far, and let's go to the weekly super messy chart and take off some of this stuff here. Alright, so what we're gonna have here is just the weekly levels and some of these monthly levels as well. So we're gonna see some correlation in these weekly and monthly market profile levels. So we have the weekly value area high at 55.4725. We're nowhere there, right? And price action has basically kind of topped out here at the weekly POC as well, which is at 55.36, and the monthly POC is at 55.35. So this is really a POC area here, right? As you can see, price is rejecting off of that. And once we start rejecting off of the POC, not coming to the value area high, next up value area low, which is at 55.2550. Now, as you can see, we got a little breakdown there, came back up. We got a deep test right there, came back up, right? So let's see if this is gonna hold right now. I don't think it's gonna hold, but we'll see. So we're gonna look to some of these Camarilla and floor pivot levels to see where this could possibly go. Right, I have some notes here. This is a resistance zone, but we'll get to that. That's a golden pivot zone right there using I think it's weekly Camarilla R3 and central pivot, but we'll get to that. So let's see, let's throw on the Camarillas right now. Chart is getting super messy. You know what I mean? Brace yourself. And right, so Camarilla R3 here is at 55.42 on the weekly, right? Price came up to that zone, rejected off of my golden pivot zone, golden top zone. I call it the golden top zone because it's on a higher time frame. So you can see we peaked into these levels here and basically is pushing down, right? So the Camarilla setup on the weekly is in an overlapping lower value because you can see here this red line coming down. So Camarilla R3 moved down, and Camarilla S3 also moved down to 5500. So this is support here, and this is one of my targets. I think we're going to actually test this Camarilla S3 sometime this week, and I might have to think about how I'm gonna manage this short position I have on right now. So let's see. Right, we're done with the Camarilla levels, and the setup is basically playing out where it's an overlapping lower value relationship, and we're getting rejection off of Camarilla R3, right? So that's heavy resistance in this moderately bearish setup, right? So taking those off, and we're gonna throw on the pivots, right? So let's see here. Let me point this out. Where are you? So that's the pivot, weekly pivot at 55.39. That's the bottom central at 55.47.75, and that's the top central at 55.30.25. So that's the range right there from 55.47.75 to 55.30.25, and it's in a outside value relationship where this was the prior central pivot range right here. You can see it, bottom central, and the top central, the red line, and the central pivot has actually expanded, and that's why they call it like a outside value relationship. So price is supposed to range a little more because of the expanding of the range and engulfing this prior central pivot range. So we're testing the central pivot, getting that rejection, and let me just throw back on the Camarillas. So that's gonna show you my golden pivot zone. Let me open that up. Right, so you can see here this is the central pivot, the blue line, and that's Camarilla R3 at 55.42, and that's creating my golden pivot zone, and we're getting the rejection off of that. So price is respecting that right now. And let's see here what else we got on the weekly. Now if we do breakdown, first target on the floor pivot is S1 at 54.91.50, right? And if I throw on the Camarillas, that's just below Camarilla S3, right? So, and this is the monthly pivot TC that I was talking about. That's the first point of support in the central pivot range on the monthly. So it's kind of coinciding with Camarilla S3. So I think it's definitely gonna attract price to 54.97 or just like a break of 5500. Right, so that's where I think price is going right now. Could probably even open somewhere around there in the ETH. And let me take these off. And we're gonna throw on some VWAPs. Right, so these are weekly VWAP levels. Let's see where we're at here. So we're at the first lower deviation, which is usually support. Right now we're testing that right now, and I want to just go over to Bookmap and go on the ES chart and see what's actually happening. So let's check that out. All right, so we have heavy liquidity here at 55.22.94, and the The first lower deviation is at 55.23.75. So somebody is trying to place their orders right there. How much is it? It says 119 contracts right there. When I hover over it, it says 98, but we'll just go with the indicator that states how much is there. So that's 119 on the bid. So let's see if his price is going to interact with this right now. So we're going to get some live action testing this. Hold on. Right, so we just broke that pivot level, right? I mean, not pivot level, my bad. The first lower deviation on the VWAP. We just broke that right there. And let's go over to Bookmap again and see what that's looking like. Right, so we took on that liquidity. Let's open it up. Right, we actually hit that. So right now these players are in the market. If they're buyers, they're in the market right now. So off of this, we're supposed to get some buying coming in here if those buyers are strong enough, right? But if the sellers are still strong, they're going to push down now to this next liquidity level of 55.21. So this is okay. So we got somebody just below here trying to support price, but they pulled, right? So we have a vacuum here down to 55.22, right? So we're drop another tick. We didn't get any sellers there on the bid, right? Nothing's happening. We got something at the current price. Couple buyers here on the ask, but current price. There's the sellers. Liquidity is pulling. Oh, let me just take off some of that. All right, so liquidity is pulling. They're pulling away from this. They don't want to interact. Buyers on the bid are not trying to get filled. We had these guys here step up on the ask trying to press down on price. Maybe those were guys taking profit, like they trailed their stop down to this level. They're getting filled. Next level here is 55.21. It's kind of, it was stepping up, but now they pulled. You see it went from red to yellow. All right, well, it is the ETH, so we don't expect things to happen really quickly. So next step down is 55.20. All right, so let's go back to the analysis here. So we're breaking down first lower deviation on the weekly VWAP at 55.23.75. See, we're pushing down more now. Where are we here? We came down to 55.21.75. Basically the same thing on Bookmap. Right, so I'm thinking, let's see, let me throw everything back on. So y'all brace yourself for the messy charts, man. Right, but the messy charts have context, you know. So this is the second lower deviation here at 55.11.50. So we could expect some support there again. And do we have anybody on the bid down here? Oh, we do. Check this out on Bookmap, right? So where these VWAP levels are, we have heavy liquidity right there. We have some front runners at 55.15 and above up to 55.16 or 55.17. So these guys on these lower deviations are trying to get filled. And next up is 55.20. And yeah, that's basically my setup right now. I'm thinking that we're pulling back to get some liquidity at these support levels on these floor pivots and Camarilla pivots. So around this area at 5500, somewhere around here is where I think price is coming back to. So if we do start breaking down this level here, well then, I don't know, man. It might be over. You know what I'm saying? But my philosophy is that is King Bear. I call him King Bear. He's the guy with all with the big paper that's taking profits on the top. Let me go back up to the daily chart. Right, so he's the guy applying pressure right here. He's the reason why the market isn't moving up. You see those wicks to the top? That's him right there. You know, that's profit taken. That's profit taken. And you see this right here? You see how these wicks are wicking down here? He's actually supporting the price so buyers could come back in hoping that we're going to the moon, and when they push back up, he's just dumping on them again. So that's how you have to move if you have like enormous volume of contracts to offload on the market. You have to keep the buyers interested, right? Keep them interested, and that, all right, let me clear that up. Right, so you keep the buyers interested and you dump on them up here. And while this is happening, buyers are buying, stop runs are happening, right? But when you start dumping on them like this, right, heavy volume, you have to prop the price back up. So you have to stop selling and start supporting price. And you get these buybacks. But you notice something, just look at the buying, right? The buying is measured and contained. And when he has a news event, I think this was a news event, I'm not sure. But when he has a news event, boom, takes that up and just dumps it on them again. Right? Takes it down, measured, controlled selling, right? And some support. And then he's taking it back down in the ETH. Now, to me, this is a very strategic move to execute this pressure here in the ETH. So he's actually using the Asian market to sell to them as well. So he's not only selling in the New York session or the American session, he's selling in the Asian session as well. But he can't put as much volume in the Asian session because those buyers over there won't be able, if he put pressure like over here, like we'll end up all the way down to VWAP immediately. You know what I'm saying? Because they just can't sustain the buying, right? We would come back down to 54.70 in the blink of an eye, right? So he has to maintain the way he's selling. So in the ETH, this is why, and go back to Bookmap, this is why you see stuff like this. It's a nice cruise, right? You might step on the gas a little bit, but it eases up, right? When you come down to these levels just above liquidity, try and get these reversal buyers in play. You know what I'm saying? Get them in play. See, the buyers are coming in, right? They're stepping in above heavy liquidity on the bid. The bid is getting stronger. Some of these buyers want to execute right here. Just ease off the gas and just cruise through their orders. Sell to them. You want to buy? All right, I got stuff to buy. Take that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a nice clean operation. You know what I mean? It's a totally different way of trading. I just look at these guys like, you know what I mean? It's cool, man. It's cool. To me, like, they don't trade. They just execute. They execute a strategy. Like, I mean, we do too, but we just buy and sell basically. They buy and sell with strategy, with real finesse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me say it like that, with finesse. All right, so we're coming down to that 55.20 level. So let's go closer and see what that's looking like. All right, strategic again. Come down, take out the bid with some sellers. Let it bounce back again. Oh, they're coming back in the bid. We got more buyers. All right, hit them again. Just like that. Hit them again. All right, let it prop back up a little bit. Hit them again. Because you see, they can't sustain much. You know, the bid is kind of light right here. So don't hit them and then, you know, move price too much. Because you want to sell at the highest price possible. So when you're moving sideways, you're getting a really nice price here. They can't handle it anymore. Step down another level, move sideways. give them a little hope, let them buy and prop it up a little more, come back to up to your nice level where you have these higher prices, sell again. All right, let's see if we get some selling right here. Sell into them right there, because you see these bubbles are getting smaller, but don't think buyers aren't trying to buy right there. They're just getting sold too. So the aggressor is looking like the buy, but it's controlled move to the upside. And this is where you can see these aren't really the aggressors. The aggressor is the seller. Although these bubbles are coming out blue, they're just letting them have a little more aggression on the bid side right now, right? So you see this popped up here. That's 2 stops came out. Alright, let me don't make this video too long. That's already half an hour. So I wanted to see them hit 55.20, but it's taking too long, man. Alright, looking like we're pushing up a little bit. Let me just see where we're at. Right, so this is my trade here so far from 55.32.75. Right now we're down at 55.21.50. I'm considering right now closing this trade, and because leaving trades overnight is anything could happen, you know what I'm saying? I really want to get to this 55.05.75, but I might just have to trail my stop down to this level here, 55.26.75. Right, and once we don't come back to test that level, then we're good. You know what I'm saying? I might give back a lot though, because it's not a trailing stop, it's just like it's a static stop. So I gotta make a decision here. I'm already 12.5 points up. This is a good take profit right here to stop out at 55.20. Alright, so we have this breakdown level of 55.22, right? That was the weekly first lower deviation, right? So it's looking like we already got 2 retests right there. So let me just make this bigger. So we got some retests here of 55.21.75. Let's see, we should not come back above this level. So let's do 55.23.25. Let's see if that'll hold. And the next thing I'm thinking about is that this is a eval, right, with a trailing threshold. So let's say we come down to all the way to 55.12, and all that profit, if it comes back on me, then that wouldn't be too good. My trailing stop will kind of draw down on me too much. Alright, so we're gonna trail down to the top of this candle here. 21.75. This one is 22. Let me do 22. So we're trailing by 1 point. Man, I'm trading now. I'm making this video really long. This was supposed to be analysis, and I'm trading here. Man, what should I do? Alright, y'all. Well, we'll see. I'll try and give you all an update of what happened on this trade right now. So we up 13 points, and I'm gonna give you all an update. We're gonna break this 55.20 level. Probably head down to 55.16. Let's see what the liquidity is looking like. Right, once we hit these guys here at 55.20, next up 55.17, and then we have a cluster here at 55.15. So I think we headed to this cluster right here. These guys right here. The next big test is this guy, but he's already done. This one here, 55.20, that's happening right now. Let's see if we could capture that. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me see if I could create trailing by 2 points. I mean, that's mad tight, but trailing 6 points. Do I have anything else? No, not really. So I'm gonna have to create one. So step 1, and I want to trail by no profit trigger. I just want to trail by 2 points. I mean, that's gonna kind of stop me out real quick, but so every 2 points, move 2 points. I think this is it here. Stop losses. Let me see if this could work. Alright, okay. Save as. Let's see. Oh man, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm doing all this stuff. My bad. Trail 2 points. Alright, so this stop loss here is coming in at 4 points behind, and if it moved 2 points now, it's gonna pull down to 2 points behind it. So let's say 55.21, we move down to 55.19. It's supposed to come down here to like 55.21, I believe. So let's see if this works. Let me just make sure this is working. So this video is getting longer than I expected, but it is what it is. And I'm really not trying to give back 4 points right now. But we playing games right here at this heavy bid. The bid is increasing as well. Alright, so let's see if we could get that 2 point move and see how the trailing stop works. So we gotta move down 2 points to 55.19. and then it'll start trailing by 2 points. So let's see if we could get that action right now. All right, sellers coming down. And this is what I was talking about with oh, they came down hard, man. And we didn't interact with that bid right there. He didn't pull, so he's in the market. Either he came out or he's in, looking like a buyer to me. Right, so we did hit him, absorb that. All right, we're getting a little pop back up. And these are just passive buyers, so that's why it's not aggressively moving up. Because after that big bid gets hit and we get that pop up, you're supposed to catch the buyers, the aggressive initiative buyers coming in right here to take it from there. Or it could be these same guys as well. Once they get filled and they get the pop, they're supposed to start entering on the pop. But I want to get to 55.19 to see if that trailing stop is working properly. All right, so we at 55.19.50. Yeah, so we at 55.19.75 and just looking for 3 ticks down to see if this trailing stop is working. We had a nice sweep here, man. All right, seeing some buyers coming in there. These are supposed to be the same guys from over here. So they hit the bid and hitting some aggressive buys, market orders. But I think they're getting whipped on the head right here. King Bear is firing from uphill, so it's tough, man. It's tough for the buyers right now. See, that's exhaustion on the ask. Oh, we getting some buyers. Let's see if we're gonna get some more. We're basically retesting where we broke down from. We're just 1 tick away. 55.20.25, 55.20.50. That's where we started to break from. So one more tick, we get the retest of the breakdown level, and we should get more sellers. See sellers coming in there, not letting it get back to the breakdown level. All right, they're trying it. They're coming up on the ask. Wait, let me see what's going on here. I think these guys here are absorption buyers. This 5 right here, 5 right there. Oh, the buyers looking like they're a little serious, man. Making me feel like I want to stop out right now. And this is how the buyers get enticed. So the buying is looking kind of good. You know what I mean? No major selling. More buyers could enter here. Start thinking we could at least push it back up to this VWAP band right here at 55.23. And that's basically going to be like a retest of the weekly lower deviation as well. And this is what it's looking like on the candle chart. It's looking like a nice little reversal play. And this could be a retest of, yeah, 55.22, 50, 55.23. I don't really want to give back all of that right now. All right, this is the first time now I'm seeing some exhaustion on the ask. No buyers up there. Let's see if they're going to come back in or sellers are going to take control from here. All right, seeing some sellers. All right, that was the previous bid right there, the heavy bid. So let's see what we do here again. Now they came down to 55.19. I want to test this level here to see if my trailing stop works correctly. Because if we hit 55.19, it should come down to 55.21. Let's see on the chart here if we hit 55.19, right there, we should come down to 55.21 as the trailing stop 2 points. So every 2 points, it moves 2 points. Let's see if we're going to get that. All right, seeing some more buyers coming back in here. Let's see if they hit the ask right here. Yep, they're hitting it. Let's see if they hit this one. All right, they got current price right there. Sellers came back in. So buyers temporarily taking control here right now. Had sellers try to come back in right here, but buyers taking control. For a possible retest of 55.23. We had big selling at that level as well. That's where we broke that liquidity level the first time. It's looking like they're pulling on the ask as well. See, this is the only liquidity right there. We got a vacuum right here. Yeah, they're pulling on the ask, man. I don't want to stick around for that. Right now, I'm still looking for my sellers. I'm looking for them to come back in. I know they are wrong, so I'm just waiting to see. I don't want to jump the gun and take profit and then they come back in and just move it straight down to 55.19. Because when they come, they're coming in strong. So they're just giving the buyers a little room to come back where they want to sell. So I don't want to jump the gun too much and stop out. And this is a kind of stalemate right here. The buyers are waiting to see if they're going to actually apply, the sellers are going to apply pressure. If they don't, then they'll start buying up again. It looks like the sellers are waiting to show their hand, like they're just holding back a little bit. And this is where you get like big buying just come in and they kind of push price up real quick up into this liquidity area right here. Because if these guys keep stalling on the selling pressure, they're just gonna throw in a big market order and push price up. And that's how you get those short squeezes. Alright, they're coming in here now. No buying response. I think we got one guy just came in there, right? Sellers responded. So this is the finesse I was talking about. They want to encourage the buyers to come in a little bit so they're not applying pressure right now. And right now we're on the verge of a breakdown. Let's see if they're gonna push it down now. We start moving sideways here like that. See, the buyers are cautious. They're not coming in too much because they see what's happening here on this level. All right, so that was the breakdown, retest. All right, buyers trying to respond. But when you start seeing them on that red line on the ask right there, that's when they're getting aggressive. Right now, they're not aggressive. They're just hitting it at current price. They're not hitting the ask. This guy here, he hit the ask. All right, so we had that breakdown, retest right there. Looking for some continuation now to take on this liquidity here at 55.19. You can see right here, this is the previous liquidity level we broke through. So let's see what's happening now. Well, we got these guys coming in here again. All right, big iceberg buying right there. But this is how come I'm not getting my wait, hold on, let me check some real quick. Why am I not seeing the label? All right, that's what I need to see. Right, so we have 67 iceberg buyers coming there, and now we get the selling pressure. So now the sellers see, all right, these guys down here, we got liquidity down here, these guys placing icebergs. Let's take them on. Say, all right, you got icebergs, I got some heat for you. Let's go. See, buyers show their hand right there. So that's showing the sellers we got a lot of liquidity here that we're not even seeing, because now they're starting to hit these icebergs here, right? So now they're gonna step on the gas and see what it's like, what is really like down here. What's the liquidity like? Because this is food for the sellers right now. They need this liquidity. King Bear needs this liquidity to offload onto. All right, we're coming down to 55.19. Let's switch over and see if my trailing stop works. We shouldn't move down one more tick, I believe. What's the interruption here? We got some liquidity here at 55.19. Looking like those buyers trying to make a move right here. They did pull off the bid. Now they're adding to it again, adding while they're placing market orders. And once they get aggressive, I think that's when the sellers try to step on them a little bit, because those icebergs there was, I mean, they're passive orders, but you know, they're hidden orders, so that's kind of passive aggressive, you know what I mean? So once they try to step up, like over here, once they show their hand, they come back in. And you see it here again. They come back in as soon as buyers show their hand. And they like to hit these bids fast, so they drop some market orders on the sell side, so these guys can't pull their orders in time. So you see, as they're approaching, they start pulling their orders from 109 down to 103. See, they're pulling their orders again. Now we're down to 86. Sellers could actually do a sweep down to 55.80 with some serious selling pressure right now, but they're letting buyers try and be aggressive right here. So we got the sideways movement. And you see, when you zoom in, you start, your perspective changes and you start seeing these as like big buyers. But when you zoom back out, it's really all sellers in control here. All right, these guys coming back in on the bid. They brought it back to 104. And if you look on the candlestick chart, this is something like a double bottom right now. Around this level where we popped up from. So 55, 18, 25. So I guess that's a key level right here in this little zone right here. That's going to be a tricky place for my 2 point stop to kind of kick in because a lot of back and forth could happen right there. I mean, they're letting buyers play around here too much, man. I want to see us hit 55.19. We came down to 55.19.25, just one tick away. I want to see us hit this bid aggressively, probably even push down to 55.18. And you see that was the low where they bounced from, so this is where the heavy liquidity is at 117 on the bid. Let me see if I could do some here real quick. All right, let me see if I could modify my trailing stop. So let's see if this is gonna work here. Yeah, that didn't work. Alright, I gotta wait for this to kick in. And I might have just messed it up where from current price it has to move 2 points now. Alright, sellers getting aggressive. They pulling on the bid. Let's see if we could get down to 55.18. I'm just trying to modify this trailing stop here. Give me a second. I gotta get a move here to see if this trailing stop is gonna work, but it's taking too long, man. This video is already 1 hour and 13 minutes. You know, most people ain't really looking at this on for an hour and 13 minutes unless you're like me, who's really into into trading. And I look at these videos like from Bookmap, that's an hour plus, you know. So let's see, the time is 11:23. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. Something better happen here real quick. Don't trust this right here. We have too much of a vacuum on the ask. A simple big buy order could take us up to 55.22 in a split second. Alright, yo, so I'ma decide to keep my stop at 55.23.50. I'm not gonna stop out of the trade, and Let's see if it comes back and stops me out, or if we get continuation in the ETH. So I'll do an update on this trade. Alright, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Hope you all enjoyed the little analysis, top-down analysis, and the breakdown of like Trader Map Pro on Bookmap, and the live trading on the ES. Just watching me analyze how I look at price action, and my thesis on King Bear and how he's operating even in the Asian session. The way he's pushing price down is very methodically, it's not like just dumping. It's just like right now, exactly at this moment, this is strategic selling, so making sure the buyers have a little encouragement. And that's why we're moving sideways, because he could just apply pressure like here and just dump it, you know what I mean? But he's not doing that right now. He's letting the buyers come back. So they could even come back to my stop of 55.2350. So that's my stop right there. It got to move 2 points into profit, and then it's going to trail by 2 points. So yeah. Maybe I should have made that a trail of 4 points, but after we break down 55.18, I don't want to give back too much of that profit, so I'm already going to give back a little bit right here at 55.2350, but I'll accept that. But if we start breaking down these levels here, I don't want to give back too much of that profit. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.